Welcome to episode 12 of Dynamically Spoken, the weekly Guild Wars 2 podcast brought to you by GuildMag. Unfortunately, we didn't get to record last week because I was a little ill baba, but we're back this week. And as always, I'm with Ali and Jason. Hi, say hey, guys.
Hello.
The ill baba. Hi.
No, it wasn't nice.
It sounds so cute. I can just imagine like little sheep tucked into bed with a little thermometer sticking out. It's adorable.
Something bitches.
So, have you spent much time underwater lately, Ali, with your new legendary?
Yes, I've spent tons of time underwater, and I get happy now every time I go and do fractals, and I get the underwater fractal. So, yes, I love it, and I love like showing it off to people and be like gloating and stuff like that. My guild hasn't made me shut up about it yet.
And have you got enough sleep this time, Jason?
Probably not. We'll find out depending on how this show goes, won't we?
Alright, and I think should we just go straight to the news then?
Yeah, we shall, hoping I don't fall asleep halfway through. We have a couple of pieces of news from last week that we didn't get to talk about, but they're basically stuff we kind of already knew, but sort of just some sort of more explanation on them. There's no expansion currently in the works. It's not planned, or at least it's not going to be for a while yet. And along with that, there's some more information regarding Cantha that was also reiterated a couple of weeks ago regarding basically due to some issues with cultural sensitivity, Cantha's not going to happen. So, bye Cantha. My heart hurts. And regarding news this week, we got a couple of pieces. We got at the end of Culling in World vs. World. Basically, they're introducing a new system where you can edit sort of like your graphic settings for World vs. World. You can have like higher res models or low res models, or just nameplates depending on how good your PC is, so you can, see people, and it's gonna be fun. It's not coming to PvP yet, PvE yet, Culling in PvP, right, okay. There's also some new hoodies and clothes in the Gen store, because your players be pimping. Pimp them out now, buy them,
I swear you just
Ghetto.
said honeys, not hoodies.
That too. They also had an interview. I think it was on Forbes, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
yep.
It was. Okay, with Messiah Cartwright, he's basically claiming he sort of feels like there's too many new systems being added to the game and far too many currencies, which we kind of talked about, and we agree with. So yay. Colin Johansson also did an interview where he basically confirmed there being a sixth Elder Dragon. It's a jungle dragon. You can check that out on Eurogamer. And finally, there's no big patches planned. The developers think it's better if they roll out content in smaller patches to sort of improve them and bring them out faster. That's the news.
Yay.
All the links can be found in the show notes.
Righty then, so this week we're just going to sort of look at the latest news because there's no real big news we can discuss. So the first thing then is the end of Culling in World v World, which is great to see something being finally done about it, but I don't know, I'm kind of going to reserve judgment until I see how it's been implemented. Cause,
Yeah, I really know you've burned us too many times with your overhype.
I just don't know how badly performance is going to be affected.
I trust them on this occasion.
Ooh, taking a risk.
I know. Well, stepping back from the microphone in shock.
Well, the only reason I'm kind of a bit wary is because we've already seen the major like FPS drop you get in meta events, and it's kind of essentially the same thing. So I don't know.
I just think they need to bring out a patch where they optimize performance a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because, my video card just sat there like, what is my job again?
Yeah.
Why am I here?
I think we discussed this last episode, didn't we?
Yeah.
I still want to do that test. See how much load my you know what? Someone remind me to do that for next episode.
Watch the podcast.
I think it's great how they thought about how different types of PCs can handle culling though. So obviously some can go for the full character models, others can go for just names. So I think it's nice that they thought about it like that.
Yeah.
And they're really putting the control in the player's hands by being able to tweak things that works for them is really good.
If anyone who's listening, if you are interested in seeing how the name things might look, I will put a screenshot in the show notes of how it works on Aeon or Ion, however you pronounce it, which came from Reddit, which I just thought might be nice. So yeah.
You're good at this job.
I know.
Take back what I said. Sorry.
Alright, yes, that's about it from Culling from my point of view. I haven't really got much to say until I see it in action.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome. It's just I gotta spice up the positivity on this show, you know.
Yeah, you can be a positive one.
Guild Wars.
Alright.
I'm sorry, I've just been burned too many times.
Yeah. We're realists.
Yeah, keeping it real.
Righty then, Jungle Dragon time. It's basically all but confirmed in the video.
Yes.
So, do you guys think we're going to see Maguma open up in an expansion?
Oh, I would love that. That'd
I
be
would.
fantastic.
No.
So we swapped roles.
It's like the same sort of question of, are we gonna see Bubbles anytime soon?
Yeah.
Like this hint. Well, this hints there. Like I don't know. I think it's the Mount Maelstrom place, the Inquest Lab, where they have a room for each Elder Dragon, and there's the underwater room as well, and then there's the jungle room for the Jungle Dragon. Because there's a bunch of hints in the game, but this is the first time we've heard it really properly confirmed. But I just feel like when they go out of their way to make sure that we have no information on them, we're not going to get any information on them.
Yeah.
But it would be awesome if we did, because I want to fight a plant dragon that looks like the one in the Sylvari instance.
Oh yes, that'd be fantastic. I think they're definitely, they're definitely going to go in the way. I know a lot of people want them to expand the expansions to go to different continents, but I think that they're really going to work on expansions in the world map for Tyria.
Yeah.
At the moment, you're going the Midguma and the Crystal Desert. So basically, I think the expansions are going to be just the dragons.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much still to open up in that map. Do you think it was intentional that he said that, or it just kind of came out?
If you watch the video, it seems like it just came out, because he talked about it like it was second nature. He was just like, there's many places. One of my favourite Elder Dragons is GuildMag. I want to see him next. There's other places we can go, such as the Jungle Dragon. He said it like as if it wasn't something that ever been said before, and it's just been said over and over again.
Yeah.
Is he talking about it's kind of odd, is he talking about a dragon in the jungle, or the jungle dragon? Because it could be like because the way that you said it before, it could be Primordus in the Maguma area, or it could be actual jungle dragon.
Yeah.
Which would make sense for the people who have these sort of theories that the Pale Tree is actually a dragon champion, and if there's actually a jungle dragon, that would definitely make sense. And also a line up with the gods being the elder dragons, gods having something to do with the elder dragons.
And I'm going to take this opportunity to plug GuildMag, because we will have a lore article coming out about that pretty soon. Were you going to say something?
No.
Oh. Alright then, should we move on?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. The State of the Game interview from Guild Wars 2 Guru basically looks at SPVP, and on this one they had some ANET devs on it. And we basically learned quite a few things. One of the, I wouldn't say important, but one of the main things was that they're not looking to do big patches anymore. They're just sort of looking to implement features as and when they're ready. Which I think, I'm all for that, really.
I think we kind of picked up on that, if I'm honest, sort of over the past couple of months. And they're going to use the living story as a way to sort of substitute for that, in a sense, maybe. Because I do believe they're going to come out with some proper content for that soon.
Wow.
Don't get me started on this. If you watch COT podcast, you'll see a massive rant I had because it made me so angry. Someone told me that, I was like, la 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 la, all happy. And then someone told me it's been 2 months since they first released the living story. And then I realized that we can count the content on our hand has been released, and that we're actually in part 2 at the moment, waiting for part 3 to come out. I'm sorry, Rena. I love you. I have great respect for your work, and I realize that you're doing this all for free, and we should be thankful. But 2 parts for such insignificant content that can be put in a prelude.
Yeah.
Very much irritates me. You've hyped me up so much and you've just burned me.
I have a feeling it's just because they're like maybe building the systems and they will stop burning us soon.
It's like I feel like it's not. I don't have a problem with the content. It's more the fact that they've released it in 2 parts
Yeah.
and made it sound like it was going to be this big, massive thing when everything that's been released at the moment could have been done subtly with no fanfare or perhaps done in 1 part, like just the prelude or something like that. Because you hyped me up so much, and then I realized that this entire time we've been hyped up over tiny little things.
What date does that next patch come out? It's a 20-something, I know that much, but
26, I guess.
I'll tell you what, the episode after that, if they haven't delivered, Ali's going to be fuming.
26 of March. You won't even
Become
show
like a little,
up.
become a little rage monster, like.
As you guys can see, I've had some sort of major revelations the past couple of weeks, and I'm just the most positive person in the world now. You know, I feel like the game has just become this amazing, godly thing, and it's Guild Wars.
Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the game, and to spend my Saturday mornings doing a podcast must mean I very much love the game, so
Yeah.
don't get me wrong.
Okay, other stuff that they included in that interview was leaderboards are in internal testing, which sounds good to me, as is spectator mode. So, I mean, lots of stuff for PvP fans, which I know has been a pretty big complaint, for a while now.
Well,
so
I'm fairly sure this is stuff they promised for the PvP guys back, like, before the game even came out. Like,
Yeah.
So, at least they're finally putting it in, but I guess they just must have ran into some bumps.
Yeah. Oh, one thing that poked out, is that even the right? That's got all sorts of connotations.
Wow, right.
Reared its head.
One thing that did stand out is they are looking to add legendaries for SPVP, which I think is kind of cool.
I think, that's another thing. Might make SPVP people happy.
Yeah, especially because one of my mates who has left Guild Wars now, he was a big PvPer, but he felt that he wasn't really achieving anything from doing SPVP. I mean, I know you have the points and you unlock chests and that, but he was like, he got to level 10 and I think he got a pair of leather gloves or something. He was like, you know what, forget this. So I think if you've got something like that to work towards.
I think one of the biggest issues with SPVP for the hardcore PvPers isn't necessarily the lack of spectators or the lack of leaderboards or the lack of goals. It's just I've heard this a number of times, the limitations with Conquest, because as a major SPVP, this is what I'm told, obviously I am not one of those people, but back in Guild Wars 1, one of the things that they seemed to like was the variety and the many different ways in which you could play the game modes to get them to succeed at them. There was many variations, but in Conquest there's only a couple of viable routes, and everybody takes them. So there's no variety there. That's just from an SPVP friend too.
I've always said I'd just like to see a plain team deathmatch map at some point.
Yeah, me too.
I live in hope.
I have to admit that in the original Guild Wars, there was this sort of really cool thing with the community. Like, you saw the leaderboards and you saw which guilds were at the top and they're fighting, and then you could go and spectate. You could go and watch their matches, and there was sort of like more prestige with it because you could open up the panel and immediately you could see who was the top ranking ones, and that sort of thing. So, and that's definitely something I feel that's lacking, is that sort of really cool guild versus guild prestige in SPVP. In SPVP.
Okay, so we will move on to the PC Gamer basically slowing down on the new systems that they're implementing, which I was talking about maybe last episode, I don't know, one of them, how we have got quite a lot of new currencies in the game now, and I started feeling a while back it was getting to the point where it's like, when are you going to stop adding stuff like that?
It just seems to be like, you can have a currency, and you can have a currency, and you can have
Yeah.
and she can have a currency. It's just like, what?
It seems to be like their go-to answer for a problem. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, we'll just stick another currency in.
I think it's a definite way that they're trying to combat the money pay to win kind of sort of thing. You know, like a lot of the currencies they put in is like you have to actually put time and effort and planning into getting them, particularly the dungeon rewards or the laurels or those sort of things, which is I don't mind it. It hasn't bothered me yet, but it is definitely getting to the point where it's like, if you add some more in, I'm not going to be able to cope.
Yeah, it seemed to me like currencies were just becoming the end game, and that wasn't, I don't know, it didn't seem so great. But now they said obviously they're going to stop with that. So again, I live in hope. It can be my motto for this episode.
I kind of live in hope. Yeah. I kind of like. What was I going to say? I got it. If you try look at it like objectively as a new player, then all the currencies are going to start overwhelming you, because it's like, what's a gem? What's a laurel? What's... I've forgotten the other ones, never mind.
Guild accommodations, karma.
That's
Influence.
one.
Yep.
And it's just like, what is this? It's like numbers.
Definitely for a new player, I can imagine it would be very difficult. And it definitely, if you don't know the game, just to start off cold turkey with all these different things would be quite difficult.
Yeah. And the game doesn't the game doesn't even do a particularly good job of showing you the game anyway right now, and it never has for a brand new player. And this sort of stuff just gets overwhelming.
But at least they're going to work on it. We've heard that before.
Shut up. You will love these people and what they do for you.
Oh no, it's definitely like, it's not a bad thing at the moment. I think that they just need to stop. Like, I think they're starting to reach their limit. And if they want to insert new currencies, maybe look at tweaking all currencies to envelop that a new sort of thing that they want to encourage. Oh, I figured out another currency, the donation thingies.
Oh, like that one down.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
She quit though. She doesn't seem to be around anymore.
Yeah, slug it off very quietly.
Got the statue up, never mind.
Oh, wow, it's like, once again, reaching the end of the show.
But you're relieved about that. That will reuse show where for the entire week leading up to any episodes, like, what we're gonna do? We don't have enough. We can't do it, Drake. We can't do it.
Do either of you have anything you'd like to mention?
I'm following the thing of, if I don't have anything nice to say, I won't say anything at all.
We're pretty bad at that rule, to be honest.
One day we will have just a purely positive episode. I promise.
Yeah, and I am helping us reach that point with a new outlook on the world and the game. And, yeah.
I think it's impossible to say, like, we just take it for granted that we love the game. Like, I say this a lot on my on COT podcast, which is, you know, yes, we bitch about it, but that's because we play it so much and we just love the game so much that we see these things, and, you know, to an outsider it might seem we're bitching a lot, but I actually adore the game. I play a lot. I put a lot of time and money into the game, and I don't feel bad when I buy things from the gem store, because I want to encourage the company and stuff, because I really do like and trust ArenaNet.
It's like having a little child. You love it, and that goes without saying. When it does something wrong, you just want to smack it a few times.
You're a bad parent, you. You are not having children. I'm sorry, but if any adoption agency is listening in now, you are never having a child. I can promise you. I just want to slap it around a bit, you know.
I think on that note, then, it's probably time to end the episode.
Before you slap us all, God, you violent man.
Okay, so if you want to comment on anything we've talked about in this episode, you can use the comment system on YouTube or the GuildMag website. Podcast@guildmag.com is the email address to send anything in to us, and you can also contact us on each of our Twitter accounts, which will be in the show notes. And that's about it from myself. So I guess we'll see you next time.
Bye.
So I was trying to do the outro here. Bye.
Oh my god! I had that ready. I hate the hoodies.